everyone, today I'm going to continue reading Treasure Island. Yesterday we got to the part where Billy Bones left his treasure map for the other characters to find. I'm going to carry on. My mother, who had been watching and listening from the kitchen, came into the room. "Well, come on, Jim," she said to me. "We'd better find this map." The two of us hurried upstairs to Billy's room and pried open the lock on his trunk with a knife. We sifted through everything until we finally found an old piece of parchment at the bottom. My whole body shivered with excitement as I read the heading, Treasure Island. Just then, the clock began to chime 10, and between the chimes, we heard footsteps outside. We hugged each other in fright. "We've got to get out of here," I whispered. I stuffed the map into my shirt, then dragged my mother downstairs, through the kitchen and out the back door. We went straight into the town, to the home of our friend, Dr. Livesey. Dr. Livesey gave us hot tea and listened to our tale with growing excitement. "A real treasure map," he gasped when we showed him the parchment. "And the famous Captain Flint's, by Jove. We must show this to Squire Trelawney as soon as possible. He'll know what to do." The following morning, we set off to see the Squire, who nearly fell off his chair when we showed him the map. And he sure did know what to do. He funded a treasure hunt. 6 weeks later, after much organisation and preparation, I was aboard a lovely ship called the Hispaniola. Also aboard were Dr. Livesey, Squire Trelawney and the rest of the crew that the Squire had hired. I had been introduced to them all, but I had become closest to the galley cook, a man named Long John Silver. Silver was rather an odd-looking fellow. He was missing one leg and had a carved wooden stick in its place. He also had a large green parrot that sat on his shoulder and squawked a lot of nonsense. But none of it really made sense to me. Some of its favourite sayings were, "Arr, me hearties," "Ahoy, matey," and "Walk the plank." Silver told me stories and taught me about life at sea. He always told me I was as smart as paint. I wasn't sure how smart paint could really be, but we became good friends anyway. So, one evening I was very surprised to hear Silver and another crew member, Israel Hands, talking quietly. "When can we finally take over this ship?" asked Israel. "The men are getting restless." "As soon as we get hold of the map," replied Silver. "Then we'll throw that land-loving squire and his men overboard and find Flint's treasure." I couldn't believe my ears. "Oh, Chester, come back." I couldn't believe my ears. Silver was a mutinous pirate. Who'd ever heard of a peg-leg pirate with a parrot on his shoulder? As they discussed their plan, I learned that most of the crew on board were Silver's own people. I waited until Silver and Hands were gone. Then I ran straight to the Squire's cabin. I told him what I had overheard, and he sent me to fetch the other men he knew to be loyal. Dr. Livesey, Captain Smollett and 3 others. Together we discussed the dire situation. The Squire spoke. "We can't turn back towards home or the rotten rascals will mutiny. We must make it to the island before they find the map. Luckily, I have it hidden away where they'll never find it." Captain Smollett nodded thoughtfully and told us he had an idea. A few days later, we reached the island and dropped anchor. The Squire had been right. For all they had tried, the pirates had not been able to find the map. It was time to put the next part of our plan into action. And that's where we stop today. Join me tomorrow to read the next part. Bye!